My thought today is to do with the autonomic nervous system. So think of the autonomic nervous system
Yeah.
as the automatic system. So of the three brains, we have the neocortex, we have the limbic system, or the hand of our emotions, house of our emotions, and we have the reptilian complex. The reptilian complex is like the monkey or the lizard. Sorry, it's like the lizard brain. So we have three brains, not one. And the autonomic nervous system is affected or controlled by the reptilian complex, which has been called the most superior of all the brains. Many of us think that the neocortex, or our ability to think and reason and put together something, that's the most important brain, that's the most intelligent brain, but that's not the case. The most intelligent brain that we have is the reptilian complex, because that controls the
nervous system
and the functions of the body. So think about your heart that beats more than 100,000 times a day. Think about your breathing, which happens without your conscious awareness or conscious thought. Think about growing hair and fingernails. You think about the systems in the body that replicate themselves. You're being renewed every 2 or 3 years. So think of every cell of your body, bone cells, liver cells, eye cells, all in a constant state of renewal. And because all these systems are in this constant state of renewal, there's so much activity. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about 100,000 chemical reactions occurring in each of the 100 trillion cells in the body, somewhere between 70 to 100 trillion cells. And all of these cells are constantly in flux and motion. And most of us can't balance our checkbook at the end of the month. We've got to be really conscious about how much money we've spent, or we've got to be careful about what we're doing with our time. And yet all of these systems work in our body without our conscious thought or conscious awareness, because they're looked after by the autonomic or automatic system. And the automatic system also controls our fight-flight response, and also our ability to rest and digest. Reproduction is also controlled by it. So there's so many functions that we're dependent or reliant upon that just take care of themselves. And how good is that we don't even have to think about it? That God's placed us here in a body that does all of this for us, that we have the capacity to carry on all of these functions without thinking about them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I wanted to share this morning, is that if we're really going to succeed in life, what we need to do is take control of the unconscious mind, which means that we can have some impact or effect on this brain, on the autonomic nervous system of the body. That if we go into shock or into fear, if we suffer from, say, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, we can reprogram the brain to no longer feel the same way. And that's how we overcome challenges. Depression, anxiety, all of that is attached to our survival functioning. And it's all therefore attached to the autonomic nervous system. So when we control the autonomic nervous system, there's no depression, there's no anxiety. We can actually overcome things like post-traumatic stress disorder and other disorders more effectively and efficiently than any other way. It's about the automatic nervous system and taking control of that. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share today, was that these things can be dealt with, they can be overcome. Is depression a chemical imbalance? Yes, it is. But the second part of the question is, who creates the chemicals that lead to depression? Who creates the chemicals that lead to anxiety? Who creates the chemicals that lead to post-traumatic stress disorder or other disorders, other mental illnesses? And the answer is you do. You control it. And that's why what we do here in the morning is so important. By having a prayer of gratitude, by meditating, by having a thought for the day, we set ourselves up to win, not to fail. We set ourselves up for victory.
Yep.
Because
for happy,
we're little by
happy
little,
chemicals. We want
we're
happy
little by
chemicals.
little taking control of the unconscious mind, and that's really the object and the outcome of what we're doing here. Anyway, that's my thought for the day. Is you and I are doing the right thing. We're in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time, and we're going to take control of this mind that we have. So do you want me to head into the meditation now?
Yeah, thank you.
So let's go ahead and look at our meditation. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you on a bit of a journey of consciousness. We're going to go into what's called the womb of eternity. And the womb of eternity will cause us to go back in time before birth, before coming to earth and becoming incarnate, all the way back into the past, all the way back into the past. And we're going to find ourselves in space, in the vastness of space, in a place that I call the womb of eternity. And that's where our journey is going to begin. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for the voice of authority in our life. So the next topic is all about voices, the voices that rule our life, the voices that cause us to feel happy, self-assured, calm, and those voices that cause us turmoil and strife, those voices that cause us to feel less than positive about ourselves and about our life. And so sit back and relax and allow yourself to be guided by the sound of my voice. With every breath that you take, with every beat of your heart, just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into a wonderful, wonderful state of relaxation. And from that wonderful state of relaxation, just allow yourself to drift and float and fly all the way back in time. All the way back in time before you were a child, all the way back in time before you were a baby, and find yourself now in the vastness of space. Find yourself now in the womb of eternity. And just imagine that it's exactly the way that you imagined space to be. However, there is one difference. It's not cold like you might imagine space to be. In fact, this place is very warm. It's completely warm, safe, cozy, and wonderful. And the beautiful thing about the womb of eternity is that all of your needs are instantaneously met by God's infinite love. There is nothing that you want, need, or desire. Every need and desire is completely filled. In fact, every need and desire is met before you desire it. What a wonderful thing that is. Now notice as you're there in the womb of eternity that you can see all around you simultaneously in 360 degrees. You can see every direction. And you can see all the lights of the heavens. You can see all the lights of the infinite space around you. Scientists have estimated that the vastness of space is actually unlimited. Each time they get to the edge of one galaxy or solar system, they find another one. And each time they get to the edge of that one, they find another one. And as telescopes get stronger and stronger, they've realized that space just gets bigger and bigger, that there is no end to creation. There is no end to light. There is no end to worlds and suns. There is no end to the universe. And just enjoy the vastness of space from this beautiful place called the womb of eternity. And now as you're there in the womb of eternity, notice that there is one light that you notice flickering. It's one of the biggest lights of all, and it's flickering. And notice now that you begin moving towards that light. Or maybe the light is moving towards you. You cannot tell. All you know is that the distance between you and that light is vanishing. It's becoming smaller, reduced. And as you approach this light, notice that the flickering gets faster and faster, as if that light is excited to see you, as if that light is beckoning you forward, is inviting you towards it. And notice now as you get closer and closer to that light, and the flickering gets faster and faster, you find yourself moving into the light and becoming part of the light and becoming absorbed into the light, as if you know that this light represents something wonderful, something beautiful, something that's going to move you in a powerful, positive direction towards that which you deserve and desire. And this life represents you becoming incarnate. It represents you coming to earth. It represents your entering mortality. And notice as you go through that light and you move into your first year of life, you're a baby, you're very small, you're very impressionable. You're inside the imprint period of your life. And we know that in the imprint period, science has shown us that during this first 5 to 7 years of life, that all of the values, all of your beliefs are influenced by your predominant caregiver. And the predominant caregiver can have a very, very strong influence over your life. Now as you're here, I want you to go ahead and think about the voice of authority in your life. I want you to think about that one voice that will always lead you right. That one voice that only had the very positive and best things to say about you. That one voice that would always lead you on wisdom's path. And allow yourself now to focus on that one voice. We call this the voice of authority. This voice that will always lead you right. This voice that will lead you, guide you, walk beside you. This voice that will show you the way. And now as you grab hold of this voice, just allow every other voice to fade into insignificance. Allow every other voice to become quieter and softer, and if needs be, allow that voice to vanish completely so that it no longer has any influence, any impact over the trajectory of your life. And focus on that voice again, the voice of authority, and make it louder, louder than every other voice, because we all have a voice like this, a voice of authority in our lives. I have a voice like this. And as you cling to that voice, just allow yourself to move to the second year of your life, holding on to every word of the voice of authority, allowing this voice to penetrate the depths of your soul, allowing this voice to lead you down wisdom's path and into your third year of life. Once again, allowing the voice of authority to dictate and determine your direction, your resolve, your desires, and influencing you more than any other voice could possibly do. In your fourth year of life and your fifth year of life. And notice that this voice has become the dominant voice in your life. This voice is the voice that you can always trust. And this voice is the voice that you believe, that you cling to, that you hold to, and that you allow to influence your life completely. And notice that every other voice now is turned down to the degree that they no longer have any eternal impact on your soul. Notice that every other voice is diminished. Every other voice is reduced. Every other voice especially when that voice caused you to feel anything less than positive about yourself, about your life, about your future, about you as a person. Anytime that happened, that voice no longer has any power over you. That voice is reduced to the point where it's just a tiny whisper. And go back now to the voice of authority and allow that booming voice to impact, influence, and guide you along wisdom's path. Allow that voice to be the voice of authority in your life here, now, and forever. And notice now that when you give that voice authority over you, to govern you, to guide you along wisdom's path, that voice is a voice of love. It's a voice of wisdom. It's a voice of patience. It's a voice of forgiveness. And it's also a voice of peace. That voice is the voice that you'll always listen to. That voice is the voice that will lead you from this time forth and forever. I'm going to bring you back now out of this meditative state by counting from 1 to 5. And in every ascending number, you'll find yourself returning to this place we call reality, bringing with you a brand new reality. A reality where, number 1, you're the one who's decided to live, to learn, to love, to leave a legacy. You're the one who's allowed yourself to go through this process. And you're the one who's having changes occur at every level of your mind, heart, body, spirit, and soul. Number 2, all of these suggestions from me to you and from you to your other than conscious mind are now moving 10 times deeper than ever before. New synapses are being created in your mind. New neurological pathways are being created. And these new pathways are enabling you to think in new ways, are enabling you to have the confidence and the ability to change and transform your life and become the person that you want to be, rather than the person that the world tried to program you to be. Many times in life, we feel as though we've got this jetpack on our back. And in order to make progress in life, we can simply add more fuel to the engine. The challenge with this is by adding more fuel to the engine, we may not realize that we're being trapped by our emotions. We're being held back, held captive. Notice now that there is an anchor and a rope tied to your leg. And so no matter how much fuel you put in the engine of that jetpack, and no matter how much power you exert and how much confidence you have and how much positivity you create, you may feel like you're being held back. And so instead of adding more fuel to the engine, what we simply want to do is cut that anchor, and just allow yourself now to cut that anchor and be free. Allow yourself now, imagine a guillotine coming down and cutting that rope that's tying you to that anchor. And so in other words, it's not about adding more fuel to the engine. It's about cutting the ties of the past, getting rid of, releasing yourself from the repressed or trapped emotions in your life. Number 3, remember there's always 3 ways to overcome any situation, circumstance, or challenge that you face. There's always 3 solutions in your other than conscious mind, and you will effortlessly, easily grab hold of those solutions for the benefit of yourself and all concerned. Remember now that pain, any pain that you may feel in your body, anywhere in your body, just become aware of any pain right now. And just recognize that pain serves a purpose. Pain lets you know that there's a problem, that there's a challenge that you have to deal with. And pain tells you one of three things: that you need to correct something, that you need to protect yourself from something, or that you need to unify your system, mind, heart, body, spirit, soul, emotions, in unity. And so whenever you're experiencing pain, just recognize that pain's there to correct, protect, and unify. And once you understand the purpose of pain, you don't have to keep it. You can let pain go. Number 4, because this is all for you. You've done the work, you've made the change, you've allowed yourself to go through this process, and you're getting the benefit at every level of your mind, heart, body, spirit, and soul. On this next count, you'll find yourself returning to this place we call reality, bringing with you a brand new reality, a reality where you realize that you have complete control over every part of your life, including your thoughts, your actions, your desires, your intentions, and even the unconscious part of your life, that you can impact that most powerful brain of yours, which is the reptilian complex, which is tied directly to your nervous system, and you can influence that to make your life the way you deserve and desire. Number 5. Go ahead, wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, put a big smile on your face, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes, and welcome back.
Lovely. Thank you.
How'd you go?
Very good. Very good. So you said yesterday about dialing down if somebody's saying something. What if they say it so quickly you don't have time to dial it down?
That's when you do it afterwards. You don't have to do it at the moment.
Oh, you do it after? Okay.
Yeah, you do it afterwards.
All right.
So,
right.
well, that's how the mind works. The reason something that somebody says has an impact upon us, the only reason is because we remember it.
Right.
And when you commit something that somebody says to memory, then you get to replay that over and over again. Now, this is all good and fine if somebody says something nice about you. Somebody says something complimentary, and somebody says something that's going to build you. When they say something like that and you commit that to memory, that's a wonderful thing. Now, here's the challenge, that you're more likely to remember something negative that somebody says.
Yeah.
The reason you are is because of the emotional attachment to it. You see, when we look at our brain, we've got neocortex, limbic system, and the reptilian complex. We've got the 3 parts. The midbrain, the limbic system, when we feel a strong emotion, and this could be positive or negative, the memory of that thing goes up. Our ability, our capacity to remember is increased, it's enhanced because of the emotionality that's attached to the thought. So when somebody says something negative about you, you immediately tie in an emotion to it. Now, the emotion could be anger, could be frustration, the emotion could be sadness, the emotion could be longing, the emotion could be regret. Whatever emotion you attach to it, what's happened now, you've got something somebody said, you've committed that to memory because you've got this strong emotion with it. So there's a couple of ways to deal with it. One thing we need to do is disconnect the emotion from the words. So that would be step 1. You disconnect the emotion from the words. Step 2 would be to dial down. How do you do that?
How do you separate the emotion from the words when it's impacted you?
Okay, so the way you do it is actually let's go to a specific time. So tell me about a time when it happened. Tell me about something that somebody said that's impacted you for a period of time. Any memory.
Oh.
It could even be a memory when you were young. You're a young person.
Well, when I was out of Tangalooma, it was like when Janice and Lisa and people, I was still in the flat, and a woman came and said, if she doesn't get out of there, I'll charge you extra for the flat another day.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go to that memory.
Yeah.
So go to that memory now And what I want you to do is, the woman who said that, do you know what she looks like?
I never saw her, just heard her voice, and then Lisa and Janice got very angry with me.
Have you been to the circus before in your life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the most ridiculous costume you ever saw at the circus?
Yeah. A clown. Yeah.
Okay, so make this woman a clown, and she's wearing a clown suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine the memory again, and this time you see that woman and she's wearing a clown suit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing is, what's something funny that you saw at a circus that one of the clowns did? Just go back to a memory you've got. What did the clown do?
Jumped in a little car.
Okay.
Little tiny
now
car.
Imagine this woman coming along and she jumps in a little car. Or maybe she says what she said, because what you heard was what you heard. So picture that. She's this clown. She runs over and she says what she says. Then she jumps in a little car and then takes off. But what I want you to do is play some music in the background. And the music is like clown music. Like now make sure you got a nose on her. What sort of nose does she have?
Yeah, great big red one.
Red nose. And what sort of hat does she have?
Oh, flowers and a black hat.
Okay, flowers and a black hat. And she jumps in the car. Now play that scene through. When she gets out and she does that, and notice what happens to the emotion of the, and make sure the music's going. What's happening now? Tell me about this memory.
She's driving off and pulling Lisa and Janice along behind.
Okay.
Taking them all.
So tell me, what was the original emotion that you had attached to that event?
What was the original emotion? Disappointment and what's the word? It's a defense.
Okay, disappointment and defense. That's fine. Now go back. Put a big smile on your face this time. Big smile. Big smile. Come on your face. I want to see the smile. That's it. Now play that scene again. Imagine this clown pulling up, jumping out of the little car, getting angry. They've got a big nose. They've got a flower hat. Maybe those big boots that clowns wear. And she says what she says. And then she jumps back in that little car and takes off. And she's pulling Janice and somebody else behind her.
Lisa
behind her. And make sure they got the music playing. Now go ahead and start the scene again. And imagine this clown turning up. And then she says what she says. And this time she says it angrily. And she breathes fire. And then jumps back in the car and off she goes. And then she comes along again, jumps out, jumps back in the car and off she goes. And just keep playing that scene. And just make it look so ridiculous. And maybe you could see some other people in the, outside laughing at this woman because she looks so ridiculous and funny. So they're all laughing. And just play that scene in your mind and have the laughter there. There's a crowd there and they're all clapping. They're all laughing. They're all laughing and clapping. Okay, stop playing that scene. Just come back to me now.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels
What
good.
emotion is now attached to that scene? What are you thinking now?
Yeah, laughter. Just laughter.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what
it's
we've
good.
done now is we've disconnected the disappointment that you were feeling. We've disconnected that from that scene. So that's the first thing. Now, the next thing you want to do is reach out with your hand and turn her voice right down. So the next step 2 is to turn the voice down. Step 1 is we scratch the memory. It's like if you've got a big black record and you play it, or a CD, whatever, and then you get a nail and you scratch it.
Yeah.
It'll never play the same again. It can't.
Yeah.
So all we've done with your memory is we've taken it like a record, we just scratched the memory. So now when you think about that memory, what are you going to think about?
Just laughing at it.
Well, you're going to think about this woman wearing a clown suit. You're going to think about laughter. It's just ridiculous.
Laughing at the scene.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the idea is we want to take a memory and we want to scratch the memory. That's step one. We've done that. We've scratched that memory. So what we've effectively done is we've disconnected the emotion from the event. We've disconnected those two.
Yeah.
Now that you've got the voice on its own, now you can play with the voice. So go ahead and reach out and turn the volume down. Turn the volume down of that voice until she's shouting, but it's a whisper.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming out.
Yeah.
So turn that voice right down.
Right down.
Turn that voice right down.
It's off.
Yep. The other thing is, when you came out and those that were there that were supposed to be your friends and family and those that care about you.
Heavenly Father, we come before thee at this time in gratitude. We are grateful for the knowledge that we can receive and learn and continue learning. And as we listen to the voice of the Spirit will speak to us and teach us the things that we need to learn, the things that will take us in the right way, and we can turn up the volume of the voice of the Spirit, the voice of God in our lives, so that we can have positive input and we can choose to act and think and be a certain way, peaceful and calm, influential without speaking too much, influential without pushing ourselves onto others, but as they accept us, enjoying the company and enjoying the people that are around us, and accepting them as they are, and allowing the voice of the Spirit to be the greatest voice in our lives. And we are so grateful for this knowledge, for learning, for getting better and better as we get older, for teaching others these principles as well, and sharing of our love and of our patience and of our skills and of our perseverance and quietness, and that we can just be there to say that which is good when we speak, and that we will speak little, that others will, when they ask a question, we can speak. But until then, have a quietness of spirit. So we are grateful for this knowledge, this beautiful spirit that can help us be calm and peaceful, that can be there to help when others ask, but learning to live in our own space without encroaching on other people's spaces. I'm thankful for these things, and open up this gratitude prayer to Josh. Would you like to state what you're thankful for and what you want to ask for today?
Yeah, sure. I'm grateful for life and love. I'm grateful for happiness. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for my two boys that are living at home. I've got 5 children. I'm grateful for all of them and for their life. I'm grateful for my birthday. It's my birthday today. I'm 46 today. So I'm grateful for that, for growth and for progress, and for the age that I am, and for the intelligence that I have. I'm grateful for most. I'm grateful for all the learnings that I'm able to take on. I'm grateful for the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding that I have of earth, of life, of source, God, the universe, my higher self. And I'm grateful for the ability that I have to take full control of the unconscious mind that I have, because I've learned the tools of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and I've learned how to create the life that I deserve and desire. I've learned how to create a wonderful, happy life with my wife and children. I've learned how to have money flowing into my life with avalanches of abundance. I've learned how to be successful in life, to have good health, I've learnt about the benefits of HIIT training, and I'm grateful for that. HIIT stands for High Intensity Interval Training. I've learnt about breathing and breath work, and I'm grateful that I can expand my lung capacity. They've said that, people when they reach at the age of 50, the average person has lost 40% lung capacity, and then by the age of 70, the average person has lost, or age of 60, they've lost 70% lung capacity. So I'm grateful that I've learnt breathing exercises that can expand my lung capacity. So I'm grateful for so many things. It's just, the list goes on. But the mind is just an incredible machine. And if we give it good information, we can produce the greatest quality of life that we could imagine. And that's all possible to everyone if we understand how the unconscious mind works, and we learn how to tap into those unconscious resources and turn them into turn the unconscious resistance into conscious motivation, like I said before. So I'm grateful for all of that. I'm grateful for my boys. They've got coronavirus at the moment, so our house is in lockdown, but I'm grateful for that because it gives me time to really be home and think and plan for the future running of my business. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm just grateful for everything.
And you're asking for today specifically?
Asking for some help and some guidance. I'm asking for those in India. I've just opened up my network to 7 cities in India, Dubai and a few others. Delhi. Sorry, is it Dubai? I don't know. Delhi's one of them. I can't remember the cities. There's some cities in India that I've opened up. And so my prayer today is that people will see my meetup group and want to join. I've got Hyderabad, Chennai, Calcutta, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. So I've got all these cities.
Awesome.
That are now open up in India. So I'm just waiting for people to book in and sign up for the webinars that I hold.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm excited about.
Excellent. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the power that we have, the strength, that we can have all goodness and mercy and grace and power in our lives. And we thank Thee for all the goodness that comes to us and the good that is in the world, and that we can see the good in other people, and that the other things that happen, we can dial down and cut the strings and don't worry about them, just laugh at them. Grateful for that. Grateful for all the knowledge that comes into the world, that is in the universe. All knowledge is there, all past knowledge, right from the beginning of time, right through. There's all knowledge of everything that's happened, and all knowledge of the future is already there. So we're grateful for that, and that people can tap into that knowledge through gifts and through the Spirit, that musicians and composers can listen for the music of the universe, and that they can hear it and they can compose it and receive it from the universe. We're thankful for mathematicians who receive great knowledge, the great mathematics and all the wonderful things that they can receive of, and be able to write it down and be able to solve all the mathematics that they need. Grateful for Noah, for Nephi, being able to build boats which they had no knowledge of, but through the Spirit of God and through the knowledge received from the universe, they were able to create and make these beautiful boats and ark. We're grateful for Abraham, who was very astute in mathematics, in science, in the stars, reading the stars, in all the knowledge that he received, so that when he went to Egypt, all the failures that they had of pyramids, that he was able to take and help them to build those pyramids perfectly and amazingly. So grateful that our children can be taught of the Lord. that we can be taught of the Lord, that we can receive, old men can receive visions, and old women, young men and young women can receive revelation and inspiration. We can open ourselves up to these, and we ask for these things. We ask that we can be blessed to know and to receive knowledge and be gifted and have high self-esteem because we are taught of the Lord. And we ask for this now in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Josh. Love
Talk
you.
soon. All right, bye.
Love you. Bye.